everybody from Georgia and North Carolina and Utah and California. And we all had campers and tents and whatever. So someone in our group decided that they needed a shower because he was the stinky one. So we all gathered around as he went into his camper to shower.
Jerry's camper, his brother's
Jerry's
camper.
camper.
Which was
That's
off
right.
my truck. It
Off
was
your
his-
truck. Someone had the idea that if he took a shower and came out and there were no clothes,
Someone raised their hand.
and we thought, well, that person would have to stay in the camper until someone returned their clothes, correct?
And you can get into a camper when it's off the truck by the side little door.
But a full-grown adult could not.
What?
But a full-grown adult could
no,
not.
No,
No.
But someone bribed children
You had
to
an
do it.
accomplice?
Innocent children.
Yes.
Yes, of course she did.
I did not know you.
She had the whole crew.
She had Howard and Mark as her
Oh, I
accomplices.
did not know that.
Howard and Mark.
Don't get me
Always
involved.
Keep
my name out your mouth.
I forgot about that detail.
That was just revealed.
She bribed the children.
So anyway,
She paid them to do it.
someone
I think it might
suggested that we confiscate Uncle Donald's clothes.
Oh, and you leave him a little towel.
And then we left him a nice little
Itty
Hand
bitty
towel.
Hand towel.
A chiclet.
briefcase.
And we all remember that.
So anyway, we were all standing around and we could hear him, "Where are my clothes? Where are my clothes?" He came out of the shower and we were all just laughing hysterically. And suddenly he burst out of the door with this little itty bitty
A chiclet.
and chased us around the campground looking for his clothes.
With a badminton racket.
So after that time, we found a nice T-shirt and had it printed up, the Tea House Streaker, and that's
With
forever
Wile
has been-
E. Coyote on a rocket.
Right, right. Yes. So that was the story of the Tea House Streaker.
Isn't that the one that turned into the huge water fight?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Turned into a
yes.
giant water
and
fight.
I threw ice cold water on Louise Davies' back, and she had a spasm in her back. I felt so bad. She had a bad back.
And you got me too.
I probably got everybody because we all had.
Did you ever get her back, Don?
Oh, yeah.
No, but
You never got her back.
I'm still alive. I've got a few weeks to get her.
And the other story that's really funny about Donald is when we went to Mexico with Don and Doris and Mark and Paul.
Punta San Francisco.
We were talking about
Yeah,
this
by the
today.
way, Punta San Francisco, nobody says that in the real language. No one
Well,
knows.
that's
Oh,
what
it's
I
a real
call it.
place. I know. I've been looking for it for years, but I can't find it.
So the night before,
I
Doris,
found the map.
I want to hear what
My
you
buddy,
got to
I have
say.
some.
No, that's all
Doris
right. I'm going
Doris
out.
and Kent decided we didn't have enough provisions to go on this trip. And they went down to the store and bought all these canned goods. Do you remember that? Food. And I said, "What are you doing with all this food? We don't need all this." "Well, you never know. We're flying to Mexico. We may need it." And we got down to and landed on this little dirt strip along the beach at San Francisco. And Kent and Don, we were staying in tent-like
There were huts.
Huts.
With grass
With a
roofs.
thatched roof.
with a thatched roof.
Right.
There are
And-
still pictures of
And
those
there
on
was
the-
no food there. They had a little
bar.
cantina, and all they served was
Beans.
tortillas.
And beans.
And beans.
and eggs.
cervezas.
And eggs.
At every
So,
meal.
And
Doris,
Tortillas.
And
Doris
played
and Kent
craps. But
and
we're going to play
were
craps.
bloating because they had bought food, canned food that we could eat. So we ate that. And we all sat on the beach and watched Don and
yeah.
Kent flying almost level with our eyeballs
That was
along
below
the beach.
I think, 'cause you
It was
could see the
below,
top
we
of
were
the-
up and they were looking down and the airplane
And
was below
Dad,
us.
Dawn was under the hood.
And he was under the
And
hood.
Kent had his bare feet on the dash
Right.
of the 172.
And we were all going, "What are they
And all the
doing?"
locals are going, Jesus
Oh,
Christ! That's the only thing they knew in English was, Jesus Christ!
That is right.
Oh,
That
That's the
But
only
the
English
funny-
they
the
knew.
funniest part of that story was then we all headed back into the States. And we were to rendezvous at
Nogales
Nogales?
Do you want to sit down?
or Mexico.
No, Mexico.
No, right across the
What?
border.
Sit down.
No.
Mexicali.
Yeah.
Someone in our group overshot Mexicali and landed in you.
I can't remember.
We landed in Mexicali and Kent goes, well, where's Don? Where? And you were in your Cessna.
Yeah.
Where are they? And Don radios back, well, we're over in, where did he land? Anyway, then they flew
I was only one country off.
back to Mexicali, and he flings open the doors of the airplane, and he gets out, and Kent made some wise remark, and the boys were in the back, and Doris is sitting in the front, and she said, I'm not getting out, just bring me a margarita.
And on the way down, I flew in the TO-206
Yeah.
with them.
With us.
And
Right.
Kent flopped the yoke over to me and turned around and played cards with the kids while I flew.
That sounds about right.
That sounds about right.
That's how he taught people to fly.
That was how
Here,
it worked.
take the wheel.
Here's, if you,
Keep the,
if,
you know these
Keep
rich
it little
stories,
on the
rich kid
horizon.
stories.
Other than that, it was uneventful.
oh, that was funny though.
So here's
where's
a
Dawn? Where are they?
here's a story. We're flying to Arizona, and one of the boys would always ride in the front. Mark's in the front. Dad pulls out a sectional and says, "Mark, fly." We're going, flying along for a while. Mark, keep the wings level, and he taps on the yoke. Mark, keep the wings level. Mark, keep the wings level. Takes down his sectional, and Mark sound asleep.
Always. Whenever I would fly, I would always fall asleep.
Mark used to fall asleep on
I
the
wasn't
bricks
flying
right here
the
in front of the
airplane. I was
fireplace.
a passenger. I would sleep as a passenger.
She would throw up. You would
I would
sleep,
sleep.
and I'd be in the back with these two people.
One time.
flying and then
One time. The Girl Scout cookies and green apple, and I'll never forget.
Girl Scout mint cookies.
No, wait.
And
Right
green
over
apples.
Apples and Girl Scout meat green cookies
But you
all
know what?
over the windows
But
of the
you know what?
airplane.
He did not lose his cool, and believe me,
I
I had
said-
every right to be. It was.
Everywhere. And we were really high because we
Awful.
met you guys in San
It was on the
Francisco.
Yeah, it was again another event with
I said, Kent, you've got to
It
land.
was all over.
I can't land. We're too high. And it was dark. It was night. I said,
Yeah.
Kent, we got to go down. There is throw up everywhere,
It was
and everybody,
everywhere.
the girls were.
Somebody was wearing a puffy jacket. I think it was all over the puffy jacket.
dripping down the window.
Okay, enough.
And we did land in Reno, and we got weathered in Reno, and we stayed there for 2 or 3
Yeah.
days and couldn't get out. I remember that.
It happens.
Yeah.
I mean, Lori was peeing in cups,
Oh, yeah,
and I
there-
mean, you know, you do what you have
I
to
could
do.
Target. I could pee in a barf bag. I could pee in a
you
jar.
No, she did.
Really talented.
Well, now, Kent, you have a story about flying on a Bonanza with your partner that had a bench
Put it
in the
on,
back.
Mom.
Oh my gosh!
That is the best.
That is
That is impressive.
Is there anything on the back?
No.
That's only 30, 40 years old.
That
Don, do you
That
throw
is
anything
30 or
away?
40.
No, he doesn't.
I remember.
Wow.
I'm so glad you still have
That shirt's in really good condition.
It's just like Don.
I was like, where is he going? Let's have to go to the restroom. He bolted during that story.
I'm impressed he could find it too.
Okay, what's the story of the bench?
Well, I remember the story. I don't remember the details, but Kent was in a Bonanza. He had one of his law partners, at least, or two,
Was
in the back, asleep. And
Yeah.
Kent looped it.
No.
Oh, yes.
Miller had all those papers out in front of him.
Oh,
in
is
his
that what it was?
briefcase.
Okay.
They were coming back from Denver.
Oh my God.
And they got up over the mountains and Kent just for fun did a loop in the banana, and papers and everything. Yeah.
Actually, they didn't. They put it right on the ground, on the floor.
Oh.
They did. Because we had sensors for the floor.
Who knew that would happen?
That's funny.
I remember going into Mexico and then going up to the customs thing. I think you had to get a sticker or something.
Yeah.
And the guy, we were sitting there and the guy put a coffee can on the
Yep.
table and left.
Kept
And
coming back with
anyway,
it,
came
shaking
over
it.
and looked in the coffee can and then put the lid on and said, you're not gonna be able to go or something. So anyway, he kept coming back and my mom says, I think he wants a bride.
He wants you to put money in there.
And he said, no, this is an official Mexico office. You know, they wouldn't not gonna take a bride. My dad said, and my mom goes, oh, I think they want a bride. So you're going back and forth.
I think
He went
Diana
put money
started
in.
putting some money in it.
No, my mom was the one who put the money in. She went
I
ahead and
believe
put
that. I
in
think
like
that's right.
$50 or something like that. He put in the looks in the coffee can, puts the lid on, puts it back in the drawer. Okay, you guys are good to go.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that was at Mexicali.
Well, the other thing I remember is sitting at Reno, and it was below freezing, and we were all on the bleachers with 5 little kids.
And one blanket. We were
And
all
one,
wrapped
2
in
blankets.
Yeah, that's right.
And Doris always used to boil hot dogs and put them in a thermos.
Yeah.
And we'd have a paper sack with hot dog or chips or cookies or whatever to keep you guys busy. Anyway, we were sitting in there. Doris was on one end, the kids were in the middle, I was on the other, and we were handing out hot dogs and food. And Dawn and Kent go by on the runway and wave to us as they're with Bruner in the train.